think about the board strategy that Barra put you on, the original board launch? Tell everybody about that. I actually thought that was a really interesting idea.
It
and
is
you
really
tested it.
and it worked.
Okay. Tell everybody what that was.
The original board idea, Steve Barra and I were having a conversation maybe 10, 11 years ago at this point about how come a pro couldn't just print up their own boards, sell it on their website, and then capture the most of the profit of it instead of just getting a royalty. And we came up with the idea, or he came up with the idea, that you could just spend the money out of pocket, pay a graphic artist to get, make you a graphic, whatever that costs, a couple $100, $500, whatever, graphic that you like, put your name on it, put it up on your website, put a couple videos out to market it, and if you felt like you had a strong enough following, you print up 500, 1,000 boards, whatever it is, and sell them on your website, and you could potentially, I think it was like $25,000 gross on 500 boards.
You did. You launched it with 500 boards.
Yeah, I think it was like 25,000 gross.
How fast?
Profit. Instant. It was instant.
5 minutes, 25
2 minutes. It was instant.
Well, with this following, that makes sense.
It was instant.
And just for context, how much does a pro make per board? $2? $2 a board?
These days, maybe not even. These days, a lot of guys right now are just on a flat salary.
Okay, if that's the case,
that.
Pros are on a flat salary because they can't even sell enough boards to even break their minimum. Is why that's the case.
Yeah. So.
And what are we talking? $1,000 a month? $2,000 a month?
Depends on the brand. Sometimes not even that.
$500 a month?
500 to 1,000, depending on the person, depending on.
Okay, so if we're being generous, they're making $1,000 a month. Okay, it's 12 grand for the year, right? You're never breaking your minimum. 25 grand in 2 minutes. Right.
Yeah, and then imagine.
And then
what's
the net?
Every other month?
Okay, but you had to buy. You had to put money in. So what was the net?
It was like
remember?
$6,000.
Netted $6,000.
No, it was like $6,000 I paid.
Oh, so you netted almost 20 grand, 19 grand
to get the boards made. Yeah, and I mean I split the money with Heath.
Right.
So depending on how little people you have to break bread with. It was a nice experiment, and in theory, it worked.
But you decided not to do it. That's a good question.
Well, in theory, it worked, right? And I did consider just doing it, and every month or two, put out a different graphic and do the same thing. But I had this brand, which was a sneaker shop, and we made T-shirts and clothes that I couldn't really do much with at the time as far as promoting. So I was like, why don't I just turn my brand into a skateboarding brand so I can really get behind it and push the brand? So I decided the bigger picture would be to have a company, but it's yet to show if that was the right decision or not.
Build wealth or get income.
Yeah. He chose to build wealth.
He chose to build wealth.
Yeah, but it's yet to prove that it's going to pay off.
Well, when you're building business depending on what the business is, the big payday is when you sell it.
Right. I mean, yeah.
So everything. I mean, even with our business, we're making money, but if you're talking about like the payday, it's an exit. I mean, same with St. Archer.
No,
we didn't make $1 in St. Archer until we sold.
100%. I'm just saying, dude, it's
yet
still to prove that it could even get to that point. If it'll get to that, I don't know. I don't even know. But I think, I was fortunate. It's really. I don't think that's the code that's going to crack it for every pro. That's the only thing.
Right.
It's really hard out here, man. And I just thank God I'm like cutting all the bullshit out. People just your favorite pro skateboarders are not making money. Like not making legitimate money. Like the employees at the company are making more than the skater, especially the skateboard brand. Like the team manager is making more than the pro is making, so.
That's when you grew up, or that's today?
That's today currently. Probably when we were growing up too. But it's just a really tough industry, man. Some people have a misconception that like, these brands are greedy, these guys are greedy. No, bro, they're just trying to keep their business open, alive. They're trying to keep the doors open. They're trying to keep the lights on, the bills paid. Like, it's especially right now in this climate. Nobody is just fucking making money hand over fist and just Scrooge McDucking everybody and just cutting everybody out. It's just not. It's not real. That formula, it might have worked for me. I don't know how long it would have worked. Would it still be working today? I don't know. Would I have been able to earn some quick, fast cash for a good little while, a year or two there? Probably. But I think also because it was the first time it was ever done, it was limited only to 500 boards. They were all signed and numbered. I said once these are released, they're never released again. Like, it was just boom. So would it have happened every time? Would it have lost its specialness every time? Maybe. And then if every pro started doing it and it got more competitive,
yeah,
would it have been as lucrative? I don't know. I don't know. In theory, it works. It's like being an independent artist or something. But will it work for everyone? Probably not. Some people need that machine behind them of a company to push them, promote them.
Right. Well, I think for you, like owning the business, I feel like I would make a pretty strong argument to say you're now benefiting not just off your ability, it's the whole team now, right? Like,
He's leveraged.
That
Yeah,
does
you're
help.
leveraged
Like
now.
if I wanted to retire, there's a team, but I will say, like, it's yet to
Yeah, I
show
feel
that
you.
I'm benefiting.
I feel you.
Not to say that I mean, those guys are a huge benefit. They're a reason why the brand has got so much respect, especially in skateboarding. But I'm, Primitive is still. We ain't out the woods, bro. Like, we're grinding, just trying to fucking keep everything operating smooth,
Right. So if you're like, do all the kids, right, Neils, and if they don't ask you about money, they don't ask you about investing, do they ask you about just like sponsorships and like more like management or agent questions? Like, how do I negotiate this deal?
Sometimes, but I'll be honest, bro, dude, I don't like the advice that I give.
No, why?
I don't like my advice because sometimes I feel like I just fell ass backwards into my situation. I know if we go back and I look at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I remember that. Like, but if I look back on my career as a whole, it's kind of a blur. And I don't necessarily remember every situation, how it turned out. And, like, I don't know that I have good advice. And I don't know if my advice from my experience will apply to the times we're in today.
Right.
Because we were in a golden era. And now with social media and like the way the budgets are split up through influencers and this and that, like we were back before social media was the main way of marketing, bro. Like these companies were putting their budgets into one, maybe two guys and really cutting them deals. Like those are far and few between now.
Right. If you like this clip, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch the entire hour-long interview, the link will be in the description. And make sure you're following the Life with Mikey podcast on Spotify and Apple.